Mr. School Counselor, what is going on, everyone? I have a special guest today to bring to you. I call him a dear friend, a confidant, someone that I trust highly. And I have here with you Luis Alejandro Tapia. Can I call you Lou?
You call me Lou.
All right, so here we are with Lou today, and he's just going to share a little bit of who he is, what he does, where he's going. So, with that being said, Lou, who are you, my brother?
First, thank you for having me. Great work that you're doing.
Thank you, man.
AKA Mr. School Counselor.
Hey.
Dope. So I came here to talk a little bit about and to share kind of like what I'm up to. Black Boy Rise, right? So what Black Boy Rise is up to right now is we're creating spaces for young men and boys of color, specifically black men, self-identified black boys and men of color, to engage in dialogue around stuff that we don't really get to talk about, right? Wellness, health, sexuality, race, justice, brotherhood, community, and healing.
Now let me cut you, because these are a lot of topics.
Yep.
How'd you come about this? Because it's something that, like you said before, it's not talked about, especially with boys. Mm-hmm. Where'd this come from?
Well, specifically, a few years back, there was this election going on, and this person was running for president, right? This person also won. And with that, it got me, first of all, scared for my life, right? Just before that, there were, just as been going on for years and years, a lot of black boys, a lot of black men being murdered, right? In the streets, by the state, so on and so forth. So I felt like this was like a culmination. When that happened, it was like, wow, like, we have no chance, right? As a man of color, my life is not valued here in America, right? That's the feeling that it got me into, right? And automatically I'm like, whoa, I need to get around other men of color, other boys, and we need to just like retreat from this, like get away from this and talk about what the heck we're gonna do together.
You say getting around other men. Do you see that helping? Has it helped?
Of course it's helped. I think just naturally what's happened is, with these ideas of masculinity, we tend to shut off ourselves from our emotions, right? We tend to not really talk about the things that are really hurting us, right? We tend to kind of just talk about our victories. We kind of talk about things that are superficial because of these stigmas around emotionality and masculinity, right? Oh, you soft. Oh, come on, man up. Right? So if you receive those type of messages all your life, right, you start believing those things like, oh, you know what? No one wants to hear the things that I'm going through. No one wants to kind of be engaged in the drama or the sadness or the grief that I'm personally going through, so I'm gonna keep it to myself. And it's only damage that can come from that type of bottling inside. So definitely sharing those type of experiences with other men, hearing these stories from young boys, actually has created an experience where we're learning from each other.
It's a sensitive topic. It can bring a lot of emotions in, like you say. Is there anything fun about working with Black Boy Rise? Is there something you see that's very fun?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is fun, right? Because a lot of people see struggle, and a lot of people think about like, oh man, that's hard. I don't want to do it, right? But there's space for joy in that struggle, right? When you see someone being themselves, right? When you see someone actually take the mask off, right? When you see someone really getting to kind of like get to know who they really are, there's no more joy than like seeing that type of transformation happen, right? And we get to like be authentic with each other, right? Like we get to actually laugh for real with each other. We get to get through those growing pains together, but also see each other shift.
So they see Lou.
They see Lou.
That's what's up.
They get to see Lou, and I get to see them.
Is there anything you'd like to share as far as what you're working on or what's coming next with Black Boy?
Yeah, for sure. So right now, what I'm doing is first speaking to a lot of adult men of color, right? Talking a lot around masculinity, right? Kind of experimenting with this idea that I'm coming up with around wholesome masculinity, right? Like us having the ability to redefine what masculinity means for us. So gathering as many adult men as I can to have those conversations first, right? Because these are the men that are having the children, right? That are having the boys and are teaching them this is what it means to be a man, so on and so forth. So right now I'm going around New York City, around the country, around the state, having these conversations with adult men, so that when it's time for our Black Boy Rise retreat, I can invite those men to come and be big brothers to those young boys.
So that's something that's coming soon.
It's coming soon.
You heard it. It's coming soon.
It's coming soon.
That's what's up, man. Listen, I know you're an important man. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I always have to let them know. Is there something that you want to let them know? Let the audience know if there's something I didn't cover that you feel is imperative for a boy, for anyone out there to know about Black Boy Rise. The floor is yours.
For sure. You're already man enough, right? You're already as powerful as you need to be. You have everything that you need, and you belong, right? You are loved. I love you. Mr. School Counselor loves you. Sure. You are loved, and don't be afraid to speak up. It actually makes you stronger.
It makes you stronger. Don't be afraid. Like my man, Mr. Tapia said, all right? Audience, thank you. From Black Boy Rise and Mr. School Counselor, we appreciate you all. One love. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for having me.